Hey YouTube, my name is Marita and welcome to another edition of the Nurse Lounge. And in this edition, we're going to continue my series of my narcissistic marriage, my road to recovery. And today we're going to talk about arguments that he would initiate just to get a rise out of me. If you want to see what I'm talking about in this video, stay tuned. All right, we are back. My name is Dr. Marita P. I'm a registered nurse. However, in this video, we're not talking about nursing today. We're going to talk about my narcissistic marriage. And I want to give a disclaimer that I am not a therapist. I am not a counselor. I'm not a psychologist, a psychiatrist. I'm not a life coach. I'm not a medical doctor. I am just someone who is living or going through a narcissistic marriage and about to get a divorce. And, I want to give some insight about what I've been dealing with for the past 17 years. We have been married for almost 12, but we've been together for almost 17 years. And just to provide some insight so that you all could probably see some things going on within your relationships or your friendships or your workships with maybe a boss or even family members to say, hey, I didn't realize that that's what that looks like and there's a name for that. So these series of videos are basically different situations that I've been in, and I like to talk about, what I've been through when it comes to my narcissistic marriage and basically how I'm recovering from it. So when it comes to my narc husband, if you want to call it that, I don't know what to call him, just the narc. We'll call him just the narc. What I learned throughout the time is that they happen to love getting attention. And when they love getting attention and you're not giving them attention, they feel some kind of way. So what they tend to do is start stuff just to get a rise out of you. And once they get that rise out of you, they have the power and control over you. And it took me years to figure that out. I would sit there and just blow up and go ballistic about something. I would always react to something. And that's the key. You respond, not react. If you have to respond at all. You should be doing a silent treatment or gray rocking. And we'll explain what that is in another, or I'll explain what it is, but I'll go into more details in another video. The silent treatment is where you basically don't initiate any conversation or about anything. When they say something crazy, out of pocket, then you just simply don't say anything. And they cannot stand that. But my problem was, he would have gotten so under my skin at that point in time that I would just kind of blow completely up. And when I did blow completely up, that was the attention that he was wanting to get. And as a result of that attention he was wanting to get, he was like, okay, yeah, I got her. That's not what he was saying, but I'm telling you, he had this devilish, evil grin or look about him that I could tell that when he got me, that's what he wanted to achieve. And he would immediately calm down and kind of go back to normal like nothing ever happened. And now I'm flustered with high blood pressure and everything because of this mess. So I'm telling you, they typically do things like this. They will sit there and cause you to, it may be something like, he will purposely know, as an example, my kids get off the bus at 2:30 in the afternoon. And then it would be a situation where the bus driver calling me at 2:35 because he was supposed to be here at 2:30 and he wasn't here. And I'm up here getting upset because of the fact that, I called her and told her I wasn't going to be there. What the hell? You supposed to be there. It's 2:30. They don't sit there and wait for you to, get home. You have to be there. And mind you, he got off at 2 o'clock and he was 7 minutes from the house. So what he was doing, I don't know. But he would cause things to go wrong and then wonder why we have an argument about it. So it would be to the point where, it would be something like, okay, well, I called and told them that I was going to be late. That doesn't change the fact that somebody has to be here at 2:30. You should have told me about it so I could try to be here at 2:30, which usually, because I work out of the city, I work about an hour and a half away, as you know from my vlog videos. There's no way I could have been here on time. And there was no regard for that. And so he would simply be like, well, I'm going out of town tomorrow to be with my friends, and I'm not going to be here to get the kids off the bus. And I'm like, okay, well, I work tomorrow. Well, that's not my problem. But I work tomorrow, and who's going to get the kids off the bus? They care nothing about their kids or any other responsibilities. They care nothing about anything but themselves. And so I would start noticing as time goes on, he would want to get a rise out of me. So sometimes he would come in here and just say some dumb shit to get a rise out of me. He would say something like, oh, well, I'm calling into work tomorrow. I'm not going into work tomorrow. And I'm like, well, we need the money. We need every day of your, you need you to work. And so he was like, well, I'm not going. And then it would start an argument, which is what he wanted, because he wanted the attention, because otherwise I wasn't paying him any attention. But then he would go to work the next day. But he would do that on purpose just to get a rise out of me. And it got to the point where it caused me so much anxiety, stress, headaches, things like that. So even up until, I want to say, the last few months, I have started to the point where I'm like, okay, he's just doing this on purpose. And even people will say, he's doing this on purpose. Don't let him do that. Every time you let him start something with you, you're giving him control and power over you. So, prime example, even today, the date of this video, he's not living in the house at the moment. He does not want to financially take care of the kids at all. He doesn't feel like he should have any responsibility to take care of the kids financially, but yet he wants to come take them to McDonald's. And I'm like, no. Financially, they need a roof, they need clothes, they need food, they need lights, they need water. What are you doing to contribute to any of that? And so every single week is what he'll do is he will text me and says, I want to see the kids today. And the response is the same in the sense of, okay, well, what are you going to do financially to help us? Because you have taken all the money out the accounts. You have did everything you can to make sure we don't have any money, but yet you want to, what are you trying to really do here? So today I felt myself get into that trap again. Like, dang, he got me again, And I simply said to him, I said, this is going to be the last time I tell you this. You have to financially provide in order to have access to. And if you want something different, go to court. And of course, he didn't say anything. But the point is, he got a rise out of me. And I make myself so mad when I actually fall into that trap of definitely, just falling for that. Like, that gives him power and control. So what I'm learning to do is what's called gray rock. And gray rocking is basically where you answer the question, but like a gray rock is dull and it don't want to get no substance to it. That's how our conversation should be. So when he is wanting to engage in conversation, he'll, I don't sit there and say, if he says, well, hey, how are you doing? And I'm like, what do you want? That's gray rocking. I don't say, oh, I'm fine. How are you? I don't care how you doing. You abandoned us. You're not taking care of the kids. I don't care how you doing. So that's gray rocking. So if he says, well, I want to pick the kids up, I'm like, where's the money? If he says, so what your kids doing today? Nothing. So do you see how that kind of goes? Like, you just kind of like gray rock. You just kind of like, okay, it's just dry. Like, you like, okay, well, this ain't going nowhere. They don't like that either. So that's what I've learned to do. And I'm learning to react and I'm learning to respond and not react. So when you react, you just kind of blow up like I had been doing. When you respond, you have thought out what you want to say, and you say it in a manner in which they realize they're not getting under your skin. The whole objective is to get underneath your skin for them to know they have control and power over you. And I'm taking my power back. So since I'm taking my power back, I have to be conscious about how I react and how I handle things so that he will know this is not going to work. And that's just kind of how it goes. So anyway, that's basically it. Narcissists basically will do anything to get a rise out of you. They know what buttons to push, and they will push every last one of them to get that rise out of you. And when they do that, they have won. So if you've noticed people who, whether it be a coworker, a family member, a boss, or someone you're in a relationship with, who knows what buttons to push and they purposely push them, I'm not saying they're a narcissist, but I'm saying they're not doing you any good. They're toxic. Because we keep in mind, as normal people, don't we typically know what makes somebody mad? So therefore we try not to make them mad. Or we know, for instance, they haven't had anything to eat. So I know, not like people know, bring me either a Snickers or whatever. But if I'm hungry, I'm not the person that you want to talk to right now about some nonsense. If I'm hungry. So people know to avoid me at those typical times. Well, people like narcissists will know, oh, I know exactly what button to push on her. you know, I'm going to go ahead and make her upset. They do that on purpose. People like that do that on purpose. Now, again, I'm not saying that people who do that are all narcissists, but that is a trait that they have and that they do. My husband has not been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder or NPD, but he does mark off a lot of the traits, if not all of them. I've said this before. We all have narcissistic traits from time to time, but the one thing about most of us that we do not have is that grandiose mentality, that victim mentality all the time. We can empathize with people. We can put ourselves in other people's shoes. We don't play the victim all the time. We do understand that everything is sometimes our faults. We can hold ourselves accountable. Those are things that they can't do or don't do. And just for people to know, I want to go ahead and say this because I still don't feel like a lot of people understand when we throw the term that they are narcissists. That term is used so loosely that they think it's just them being kind of cynical, you know, or asinine. They think of them being that way. No, this is actually a personality disorder. We're talking about something that's mentally off with these people. So when people sit there asking, well, I wonder why why don't he just go do this? He can't. He can't. That's part of having a personality disorder, because this is something that cannot be changed. It's kind of like a schizophrenic, okay? Someone who's a schizophrenic, that is who they are. You cannot, well, I wonder why, because they're schizophrenic. You can't change that. At least there's medications for schizophrenic so they don't hear voices and whatnot. But I'm not really sure there's medications that actually treat this disorder, okay? These people, I want you to understand, these people do what they do because that is how they are wired. That is how they are naturally, okay? They don't think anything is wrong with them, so therefore they can't recover from something if nothing is wrong. So it's like an alcoholic. If he or she don't think I have a problem, do you think they're going to go to recovery? Or when they do go to recovery or rehab, do you think they will go through the steps just to say they went through them? But do you think they actually believe in it? Do you think they're ready to make some changes? No, because they don't feel like they have a problem. Same situation when it comes to the narc. They don't have a problem. The problem is you and everybody else. Please take this disorder seriously. It is not a disorder. It is, in my opinion, you're dealing with the devil, the spawn of the devil. They are evil people and they will stab you in your back. They will do things like that. This is not something that's lighthearted or whatever. Oh, they're narcissists, ha ha ha. No, this is not that. It's not that kind of kiki kind of moment. It's serious. They have the intent of bringing you down. There's nothing positive about these people at all. Okay. All right. So that is my story for today. He loves to basically get a rise out of me. And I'm learning that I have to do better with my power and control, that he cannot have it. And the more he gets a rise out of me, then he has won, and we will not let him win when it comes to my recovery. So thank you so much for watching this video in its entirety. Thank you for watching this series. For those of you who are watching this whole series, I'm doing great. Some people ask me, or I'm doing okay. Some days are better than others. I'm not going to lie to you. But some people have asked me, who do I watch on here for help with this? And I typically watch Pink Girl Teaches. I watch Associate Direct, which was Quinn Holliday. I watch Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I watch Dr. Les Carter, who is Surviving Narcissism. I watch Sarah Speaks. And the newest one I'm watching right now is Hario Ovadatop. And I found one today called The Royal We. He was talking about narcissism today. I think I subscribed to him today. So, and he actually touched on this very topic of, you know, power and control and how to get past some of these things. So those are the people that I actually watch. I definitely suggest you, if you think you may be a victim of narcissism abuse or narcissistic abuse, that you definitely go watch some other people too, so you can hear what they have to say. A couple of those people are actually therapists and licensed to do what they do. So they not have only experienced narcissism or narcissistic abuse, but they actually, you know, have a license to talk to people about this as well. So hopefully you found this insightful. Thank you so much for watching this video. And until the next time, you all take care. Bye-bye.